Listen.
I always find it fascinating when people will shun a movie before they've seen it, based purely on their prejudices against a certain genre or the style it might possess.
I've met a ton of people who refuse to watch old films purely because they're black and white. Others because they've heard it's too weird or too complex. A lot of people won't watch horror films because they don't like to be startled or scared, despite there being a large variety of horror films that don't aim to do this to you. It's a real shame. Your favourite movie of all time could be out there, but because it happens to have a certain reputation or limitation, you won't watch it. I'm a firm believer that every film has something to offer, no matter how small, and you can always take away something from the experience. Look at 12 Angry Men. In my opinion, it's almost required viewing due to how it teaches an audience not to take things at face value and to contemplate their choices further before making a decision. But it's from 1957. Who even watches old black and white movies, am I right? Duh. If you're a horror fan, look no further than M by Fritz Lang. Every modern horror movie owes a lot to that film, and it still holds up 90 years after release. Look, I'm not here to judge anyone. Everyone's taste is different, and a film style can prevent you from diving into the experience. Some people need colour in a film to become ingrained in the world and characters. That's why a lot of black and white films do become colorised. Personally, so long as a film's strengths are enough to hide its flaws, I'm all in for anything. Barbie and the Nutcracker? Shit, only way I'm gonna find out if it's secretly a hidden gem I love is if I watch it.
Enter Berberian Sound Studio, a film my friend told me not to watch because he said it was just weirdness for weirdness sake. But is that true?
The film follows a sound technician named Gilderoy who takes a job in Italy for what he believes is a film about horses. However, when he arrives, he discovers it's an Italian giallo film filled with violence and a manic soundtrack. As he works over the course of the film, his mind slowly descends into a manic state.
Presto, la signora Colatina sta arrivando. Se ci trova qui saremo espulse dall'accademia. Aspetta un attimo, guarda qui.
The movie is slow. I mean, really slow. For nearly the entire runtime, you're just watching them in the studio recording sounds and occasionally having a chat elsewhere. It's shot really nicely and the atmosphere is top notch, but there's extremely little action to the point I actually paused the film to see how much time had passed, and I was shocked to learn only 30 minutes had gone by. It felt like a hell of a lot longer. If you're not someone who can watch a film purely on mood, then I'd give this a miss. You're gonna be utterly bored.
Boring. Boring. Boring.
For pretty much the whole film, it's just Gilderoy and the other workers doing their thing and slowly growing apart based on disagreements on how the production should run.
It's a lot of fun seeing how these sounds are created using the Foley technique. Occasionally they'll have their actors come in to scream or sing something into a microphone, but other than that, it's vegetables, water, chains, anything for the perfect sound. It really makes you realise just how everything in a film requires audio. Oh, you got a goblin in your movie? Well, you have to have a guy come in to do this. This was commonplace in Italian cinema for a long period. A lot of the time, directors just didn't bother with having audio equipment on set. The whole film was shot in silence and then they were post-synched in post-production by one of these sound engineers. When sound became a big part of cinema, Italy didn't follow suit and studios weren't accommodated for audio. Their studios were big and echoed, so you just did all the voices and sound in post. It made them master dubbers and left Italian cinema with a very distinct charm.
Arrivate, su. Meno male, oh. Ragazzi, al lavoro, eh? Forza, eh?
Vabbè, aspetta,
Forza, forza. No,
chiedigli se può fare il
no, abbiamo un sacco di capelli da tirare ancora.
The film purposefully does not translate any of the Italian dialogue through subtitles, and there's a substantial amount of it spoken. Of course, if you speak Italian, the illusion is ruined, but it's designed to perfectly make you feel just as out of your element as Gilderoy. Not only does he feel unwelcome, but he has to suffer the paranoia of not knowing what people are saying around him. Disassociation through a language barrier. In the last 25 minutes, I don't recall there being any more English spoken until the credits. It's all Italian. It gives the film this real claustrophobic vibe, like you're trapped there with Gilderoy. I have to commend the filmmakers on their commitment to the themes they're exploring.
Most other directors wouldn't have the balls to make a third act like this that's just designed to frustrate and disorientate the audience. But that's the whole point.
The guy is far from home, can't talk to anyone, and all day is bombarded with nothing but increasingly violent imagery and screeching audio designed to elicit fear. It's made worse by the fact that every character is unbelievably rude, and for no good reason at all, they're just obnoxiously cruel to him. I feel so damn sorry for the poor guy. He's so harmless and clearly has a passion for what he does, but the entire world is out to make his life a complete misery.
I want to die. 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 I want to.
And this is the way the film unfolds. He's out of his element and constantly getting beaten down. His emotional state can only stretch so far.
Well, I'll call the airline. I'll get the information myself. I'll call the airline.
We never actually get to see the movie they're producing sound for. We only get glimpses of the plot through their notes and flickering colours dancing off their faces as it plays on screen. All we know is that it's filled with witches, murder, and a lot of torture. It makes you imagine what is actually happening in the final product, and I'd love to see someone actually make the real Equestrian's Vortex.
Do it!
The movie just bleeds the 70s. The opening is in the style of a classic giallo slasher. Everything is tinged with that murky brown, and naturally, the soundtrack is utterly flawless in capturing the music of the 70s horror era. Appropriately, it's a stunning sounding movie, and the mixing is damn near flawless. Considering the film takes place entirely in a studio, they also do a great job at making it look interesting. They'll have a power cut, so the scene has to be filled with candles. It shoots all the tape players from sweet angles with light flooding in. It's just a great looking and sounding movie. The downside is, unfortunately, that there just isn't much to the movie's story. And the climax, I guarantee, will annoy a lot of viewers. I felt like it was going to lead up to something, but it really doesn't. The movie just kinda ends. It does an excellent job at capturing the mania Gilderoy slowly goes through, but it's a little too slow, and there's just something missing by the end. There's not like a snapping point or even consequences. The film just plays out and occasionally confuses you until it abruptly ends just when things are taking hold.
La chiamo!
Just to let you all know, Barbie and the Nutcracker, it's not. It's really not a hidden gem. It doesn't quite earn its right to end, and it was a real letdown with all the great stuff around it. It sounds strange considering it feels like a glacial drip has passed while watching it, but I feel this needed a little longer runtime to flesh out Gilderoy's fate. If you're someone who can be taken away by a film's atmosphere, I'd recommend it. Otherwise, cinephiles are the only ones who need apply. You're probably not going to enjoy watching a man cutting vegetables for 90 minutes.
Berberian Sound Studio is a supremely well-crafted love letter to audio, but it's also slow, strange, and very uneventful. I always find it fascinating when people will shun a movie without seeing it, based purely on their prejudices against a certain genre or the style it might possess. Fuck.